Us here on the Morning Star.
Good morning, Nana. How are you?
I am well. Thank you very much for asking. Are you surprised by this development where youth in some areas, this one in particular being in the whole central constituency, touching the party's office because their MP has not been given a position yet?
I think that is the most unfortunate thing that should happen to this country. That people, because of political position, they've gone to burn, an office down. No, it shouldn't happen. They should be arrested. Yes, this country is a country of laws, and that you cannot do anything without recourse to law. Whether in your home or outside it, the law governs the whole society. If you are looking for appointment and you don't get it, is that a way to respond? It's so unfortunate. The police must find them for them to answer questions. Look, there is something that people should know in this country, that in politics, you are there to serve. So if at a point in time you are called upon any level and it's a service, you render. It does not necessarily mean that you need to be a minister or a DCE or MCU for that matter before you can see yourself as serving your society. We all serve in different ways, and that is the spirit behind every service. But when you are serving in politics and you are looking for direct reward like that, then your service becomes suspicious, and that orientation must be given to the party foot soldiers, that they should shed off that behavior and make sure that they serve their government well, and the work that the government does will rob of them. That is the spirit. All Ghanaians are in one way or another serving their states. So whatever a role that is assigned to you, whether in partisan politics or outside it, do it and do it well. And your ability to do it well will rob off the society, and it will make you better.
And just a quick clarity. So I'm told that they did not touch the office, and they did not touch the office, but they were burning something in front of the office, and they vandalized the office. There are videos of them, taking all sorts of items from the office, and then unfortunately we just lost him there. Let's try and reestablish contact with Dr. Asa Asante. Just a quick clarity in relation to the fire. They did not touch the building, as I understand it. The clarity I'm getting, that they set fire in front of the office, but they vandalized it. And the reason they were, demanding that their member of parliament be also, be nominated for a position. And so, whether there was a fire or otherwise, there was a vandalization, or there was some vandalism that took place at the office. Doc, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So I'll just say a quick clarity that the office was not touched, as I understand it now, that they set fire in front of the office. However, they vandalized the office. So it's not necessarily too different. Just that it wasn't the office that was touched. There was fire in front of it, but they vandalized the office, took away equipment, destroyed stuff and all that after gaining access to the place. What would inform this kind of position, bearing in mind that the government is in place for the whole of Ghana? Why would a group of people think that our MP or someone from our area must be appointed at all costs?
You see, let us make it clear that, look, whether you go to vandalize a place or going to do whatever, make sure whatever you do reflect the position of the law. Otherwise, you are in the grips of the law. Because this is a country of laws, and that any disruption, anything that is against the law, the police will apprehend you and put you before court. And that, if that is what they did and it's against the law, the police must find them and then let them answer questions to that effect, so that everybody will know that this country is a country of laws. and it's not a country that is governed anyhow. No. Now back to your question of whether this is worth its salt. It is not. That if you are in a government and you are in a party and your party has won power, and you are on the neck of the government demanding an appointment of your MP or whoever, even if you request that, the approach should be different. But if you want to force it on the government, then you are just, heckling the government. Because in any case, the government cannot appoint all the MPs as ministers. No, it cannot. But if you are, a member of any party, remember that your duty is to serve whatever capacity you find yourself or position you find yourself. Your duty is to render your service, and it will rob off everybody. Every Ghanaian is contributing in one way or another towards the survival of the state. These are all services people are rendering. And who is demanding a position? So whether you gain position or not, and if you are interested about service, please serve. It does not necessarily mean that you need to be appointed into a public office before you can render service. No. So that orientation, I believe that the NDC going forward must inculcate that in their following. And then they should have that knowledge that, look, not everybody in the party that can be appointed. That's a fact. And that if you don't gain appointment, you don't go about, vandalizing places and all that, and then holding the government to ransom. No. If you care and think about your party and your state, whatever position you find yourself, the little you can do to help, and then, move on. And people should also know that it is not politics that you are going to make money from. No. You must find your own business, or you must improve upon what you are doing for a living, and then you make the politics a vocation. An ordinary business that you can go, or like a hobby, if I may put it that way. Because otherwise, if you don't have your own means of livelihood, and you want to depend on politics for survival, you can be disappointed. And this can create all manner of problems for you. If you don't take care, you can even die of shock and all that. So people must have that orientation, that in politics we serve, and that if you are called upon at the national level to serve, fine. If not, wherever you find yourself and any service you render, whether within a party or outside, is a service. And all of these services contribute to making the states better. If we are able to do it and do it well, it will rob off everybody, irrespective of our party orientation or ideology or whatever. Let's render service and we are good to go.
And, you talked about the need for the police to deal with this as a purely criminal matter, as to whether they vandalize the property or set it ablaze whatsoever. But over the years, you've seen that sometimes when, party supporters, go out there on rampage and destroying things that belong to the party itself, most often these people are left off the hook. Is that one of the reasons why we keep seeing some of these things recur?
That is part of it. Because you see, when people, go and then break the law, and the same party protect them, party which is in government protect them, impunity is developed. People are emboldened to take their actions to another level anytime opportunity avails itself. Right. I am sure doing things with things, taking any decision, we will think twice.
Now, let's turn our attention to the appointments committee. They have been sitting for some days now, and it's not been smooth sailing in many instances. What are your general assessments with regard to how things have gone, especially with the vettings at the appointment committee?
I have not gotten the time to follow all, but a few that I have had opportunity to listened and read about. Yes, there are a number of things I can say. One, some of the questions are right, and they go straight away to hit the nail right on the head. In other words, they help us to elicit certain responses, and then we are able to gauge the performance of those individuals. And I must commend Parliament for such great and beautiful questions. Questions that are thought-provoking, questions that elicit specific answers, questions that take them out of their comfort zone, and questions that also deal straight away with lingering problems that we are facing in this country. They are able to throw these things in there. However, I have also observed with concern some of the quality of the questions. You see questions that border comments that touches on the way one dresses, his looks and all that in terms of dressing. No, with respect, I disagree with that. We don't need that. And then issue about there's something that I also observed, which I feel a little bit uncomfortable, and that the question is posed. No, they will make a statement and tell you that, oh no, this is a statement you are not supposed to answer. Then I ask myself, are they there not to answer questions or what? You just make statements and they go away. Because let us take it that those who appear before the committee, they are all fantastic guys. They are knowledgeable people, and they have what it takes to occupy the position they have been nominated for. So let us give them questions that will elicit certain responses to enable us to assess whether they will be able to handle the portfolio given to them or not. So I think, with all due respect, I will urge Parliament to sometimes minimize these things, if possible, even shelve them. This one is a comment. You don't need to, answer them or respond to that. I think those ones they can put them aside and then put questions to them. The questions that will really elicit response. These are my concerns there, and I'm sure if Parliament is able to take it into consideration, it will improve the kind of exercise we are doing. There's no doubt that a lot of their questions are on point, and they are able to, elicit certain responses, which I am pleased with. But there are some that I believe they need to improve them so as to step up the game.
And what about the elements of okay, I'll spare that, because you said that you have not been able to monitor through and through, but you've been following excerpts here and there. But away from Parliament, I mean, the President has made more appointments in recent days. The first 6 at least have been approved by Parliament, and they're expected to be sworn in today. With regard to the latest additions, what are your thoughts on them as well?
I think from where I sit, I've realized that the President is carefully choosing his ministers and mindful of the constitutional provision which says that we should have national character. We are seeing that gender is also brought in, even though we are not getting the numbers as expected, but at least we are getting somewhere. It is my hope and prayer that any time there's a need for the government to reshuffle, the women number should go up, so that whenever there is a need, he is able to fill all the vacancies, and then we don't get that required number of women he promised us. We should be able to, anytime there's a reshuffle, bring women into the game, so that we can also carry our women out. Women have a lot under their sleeves. All that we need to do to be able to tap them and make the best use of them.
Okay. Another issue that has dominated the headlines is the incident that happened at Obuasi. suspected, because it's still under investigation, says suspected illegal small-scale miners in the face-off with the military. And as a result, 9 people have lost their lives. There's been a directive from the president for an investigation to be conducted immediately into the matter. Let's look at this issue that keeps coming up from time to time, especially in the Ablaze area. This started somewhere in 2012. We saw a glimpse of it again in 2022, 2023, and now here we are again with a similar situation. When you heard news of this, how did you feel?
I'm sure my feeling is the same as what Ghanaians also are feeling now. Any life which is lost, nobody is interested in that. We want our people to live and live throughout. So anything that would take their life is a worry to our society. That said, the president has taken an initiative by asking for investigation to be conducted into this. I don't want to jump ahead of what the president has asked to be done.
Okay.
I'll wait till the committee is able to do, or that body is able to do their work. Then we can interrogate the issue. I always want to give the benefit of anybody set up to do a certain piece of work so that you don't color their thinking and their minds.
Okay, away from that, with regard to the appointments, I think yesterday, with the appointment that was announced by the president, one notable thing was the appointment of Mr. Bevlolati as the liaison to the Alliance for Sahelian States. I'm considering, how this whole situation has unfolded. What kind of signal does this send?
Mr. Bevlolati, has been a very an important pillar behind the NDC. We know that. And I believe that the portfolio he's been given, he can discharge his work. Discharge it well. Colonel Lati has always been a great soldier, a powerful security officer, which I salute him. And his works, footprints are all over for the world to see. So I have no doubt in my mind that any portfolio given to him, and he pledges that I will handle it, I know he's going to deliver. So I am very much aware of that.
Beyond that, the fact that he will deliver, considering the situation in the sub-region as well, and efforts to get the Sahelian states to return to ECOWAS as well, does it show a certain pathway that the current administration intends to embark on in terms of having more dialogue with them and also partnering with them?
Obviously, if we see the approach that the president is using, I want to believe that he wants to have a conversation with all those who are not democratic now to be able to come to that table where they will have a conversation about the return to democratic rule. I'm not a spokesman for the president. I don't know his thinking, but I believe from where I sit that he wants to chart that course, and that is the more reason why you are seeing people like Colonel Lati going into that type of position and all that. I hope and pray that my country will always strengthen its democracy so as to get the courage to also advise people to join him. So we all have to rise up and support any efforts at ensuring that democracy stays not only in Ghana, but in the sub-region and by extension the rest of Africa. Because once you are surrounded by groups or countries that are undemocratic, the effects can also be transported to your country. And that is why all democratic states at a point in time want to make sure that they bring bring those outside the democratic frontier to come into the realm of democracy to work for the common good of their people. So I want to believe that that's the focus and direction of the government. We will have no choice than to support the government to succeed in this direction, because I acknowledge that democracy has its own problems and challenges. But I also know for a fact that it is the best game in town, that without it, there is no other system that I believe in than democracy.
All right, Doc, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate that you were able to speak to us. Grateful. You had to speak to Dr. Asa Asante. He is a political scientist at the University of Ghana, senior political scientist at the University of Ghana, political science department, and also the head of the Center for European Studies. It's still the morning Star here on Star 103.5 FM. I did mention to you that today being a Wednesday, we'll also bring you our science and tech segment, The Horizon. So stay tuned, we'll do that. We'll also have a conversation with the musician, Moses. Okay, stay tuned. Don't flip your dial.